Could Demon Slayer be the best anime ever? I certainly believe it's getting there. And with this movie, it's solidifying that placement right here, right now. It's an 8.5 out of 10 for me, y'all. The animation, camera work, OSTs, action, plot, and cinematography were all insane. The quality of this movie was super good. They expanded so much from the manga and while keeping it consistent with the source material. The reason I gave it an 8.5 is that I know what's happening next in the manga, so I'm setting those higher scores for the future movies. The stakes get even more insane from here. If the quality is consistent or even better with the upcoming Demon Slayer movies, this series has the potential to become one of the best things ever created for films. Period. Stick around and see why. Also, if you're wondering how I watched this movie, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, gang. Don't worry about it. Just know that I'm going to watch it again in theaters, and it's going to be insane. Please go watch it in theaters for the best viewing experience and also to show your support for the film for all the hard work that these animators did. This movie took about 3.5 years to make, so regardless of whether you watch the leaks or not, go support the theatrical release. It's already breaking world records in Japan 3 times the initial amount, so we gotta show them what's up in the US. Spoilers ahead for the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie. If you don't want to be spoiled, save this video for later and come back to this after you've seen the movie. I've also got to be cautious on how I show this because I'm not trying to get, fined or striked, so I'll be using mostly manga panels or fan animation. If you personally don't care for spoilers, you still want to go see the movie in its entirety, just go read the manga for a general idea of what the movie covers after watching this video. This movie covers chapters 140 through 156 and half of chapter 157 of the manga. These chapters cover the Shinobu vs. Douma fight, Zenitsu vs. Kaigaku fight, and then the fight that everyone's been waiting for, Tanjiro and Giyu vs. Akaza. It picks up almost immediately after where it left off in the Hofstra training arc, with a quick convo between Ubuyashiki and Gyuome talking about how to kill Muzan beforehand. Ubuyashiki said he'll be the bait to lure out Muzan and get the Hofstras in one place to fight him, as we saw in that last episode of the arc. After that, we immediately see Tanjiro falling through the castle as demons glare at him. We also get to see the other characters' POVs as they fall into the castle and face off against some of the demons. Tanjiro, though, is so unlucky as he wasn't able to find the spot to land. It's going to fall to his demise. Until the goat Giyu comes flying in above like a missile, uses water breathing to bounce off the different structures, and then rams the both of them into a balcony-like platform with Tanjiro starting off the edge, about to fall again to his doom before Giyu finally catches him and places him on a platform below. Tanjiro senses a demon behind him and defeats it easily with water breathing. As Giyu jumps to the level where Tanjiro is, the room around them transforms, sending multiple demons that the duo makes quick work out of with water breathing. I really like how this movie starts off. We got Aimer singing her heart out in the background, the expansive castle transforming with its warm yet terrifying color tone, and the various characters' themes swapping as we see each of their perspectives within the castle. A lot of very well animated scenes here as well. We proceed to see Shinobu walking up to this giant palace structure, where she wanders around for a moment until she smells blood. She opens the room door where she smelled the blood and then comes face to face with Upper Moon 2 Douma. He's surrounded by lifeless bodies and is even sniping on someone in that moment, and Rosa further fire free. Shinobu gets immediate whiplash from seeing his face and remembers her sister's dying words about a demon that did this to her. Her sister describes Douma's characteristics, and right after, a girl that was on the ground near the bodies, and Douma, screams for help. Shinobu rushes forth to save her. At the same time, Douma swings his fans at the girl. It appears that Shinobu saved the girl for a second, but then her body collapsed, as we see that Douma's attack was faster. Shinobu and Douma talk back and forth for a moment, as Shinobu gets angry at Douma for defeating her sister, saying, "Don't you recognize this Harori?" There's a quick flashback of Douma remembering Shinobu's sister, and he absolutely one-shots her, bro. It is insane how dirty she got done in this movie. He says he was sad that he was able to absorb her due to the sun coming up, and then Shinobu blitzes him and stabs him in the eye with her katana as he uses an attack of his own. Her poison starts to take effect, and Douma claims it's stronger than the one that she used in Season 1 on Rui's Mountain, aka Lower Moon 5. She acknowledges that they share info and watches in disgust as Douma starts to decompose her poison. They continue to battle for a bit, and Douma is starting to build a resistance to her various poisons. We see Douma's backstory as he was just a kid with colorful eyes who ended up being worshipped and becoming the leader of the Eternal Paradise cult due to his parents. Douma berates those who worshipped him in his mind and decides to keep doing it to make them happy even past their death. Presumably, he became a demon later on and started eating his worshippers. Shinobu starts to get more exhausted as the fight prolongs, and the poison starts to work less and less. Douma tells her that she's getting tired due to her breathing in his blood demon art from his first attack, which starts to freeze the lungs. Regardless, she locks in and goes to blitz him again with another insect breathing attack. It lands, but immediately afterwards, she gets a huge wound on her chest from Douma's fans. She laments for being so small and weak, but a vision of her sister snaps her out of it. She stands up, ready to deal the final blow, and again blitzes Douma, with him now running away on the defensive. She slips through that defense and then gets him through the neck, pinning him to the ceiling, but it still wasn't enough as he again decomposes that poison. She cries in anguish as she remembers the promise she made with her sister in their youth to fight demons to protect others from going what they went through when they were younger. Douma uses her BDA to grab her as she falls, then crushes her back after she signals something to Kanao, who just entered the room. Kanao leaves to attack him, but he dashes away. He tries to taunt her while absorbing Shinobu, and realizes that Shinobu warned her about his BDA with the hand signal. I quickly want to say though, some of these things that the Slayers are doing gotta be superhuman. In this movie, the room where they fight takes place seems like super, really large and expansive, right? But Kanao is leaping 10 plus feet in the air to attack Douma. Also, Shinobu's final attack was so strong that it was breaking the bridge where she was standing on. Gang, that is not normal. What are these people being fed? Please let me know. And they're also both unmarked in this moment, by the way. They're just doing this on their own, base form, by using breathing techniques. Make that make sense. We proceed to see Zenitsu traveling around the castle, looking for somebody. He then falls down a ledge and lands in a room where he tells a person to get out from behind a door. The person he's talking with is Kaigaku, which is now Upper Moon 6. We cut away for a brief moment as the Slayers are now informed that Shinobu is dead after fighting Upper Moon 2, and we see the lower ranked Demon Slayers fighting against the fodder demons. The scene snaps back to Zenitsu and Kaigaku, covered in a golden and red lighting respectively. They're basically having a roast battle for a moment.
You fat, you stink, and you ugly, and you broke, monkey.
Comes to getting girls, this man's has no taste. Your breath stank. Here's some goddamn toothpaste. Hey! I'm the best rapper, and it's gonna be like that for a while. Your mom calls me toothpaste the way I put white in her smile.
Page, I read about did you say want?
Then Zenitsu snaps, saying, "Why would the thunder-breathing successor become a demon?" We see that that person who trained the both of them took himself out due to Kaigaku becoming a demon, and he went out painfully since no one was there to finish the job. The note that Zenitsu read in the hostage training arc is the result of what we're hearing right now. Kaigaku doesn't care that their master suffered, as he didn't want to share the Thunder Hostage title with Zenitsu. The two finally clash, and Zenitsu speed blitzes Kaigaku in an epic shot. We get to see Kaigaku's backstory of how he turned into a demon and his rough upbringing. He did every scummy thing to stay alive, even becoming a demon. Kaigaku is the same kid that even let the demon into the house where Gyome and other children stayed. Upper Moon 1 was the one that gave him the blood to become a demon. Kaigaku compares that terrifying moment with Upper Moon 1 to now, where he believes that he can easily beat Zenitsu, which he low-key kinda does for a bit. They start clashing again, and Kaigaku is dominating the fight, as Zenitsu is just taking hit after hit. Zenitsu proceeds to get knocked out of the building to a free fall due to Kaigaku's BDA. Last second, he stops his fall, then uses his new 7th form to split bits and one-shot Kaigaku. As this happens, Zenitsu remembers the moments that they had together and said that he respected him. He acknowledges Kaigaku's skills, but said that Kaigaku's happiness was leaking out, and if he never fixed it, he would never be satisfied. Kaigaku is shocked that he was defeated that quickly by Zenitsu and thinks that the Gramps, their trainer, favors Zenitsu by teaching him a secret move, since Thunder Breathing only has 6 moves. Zenitsu rebuts him and says he created this move to fight alongside Kaigaku. Kaigaku is pissed, but starts getting excited thinking they'll both lose if Zenitsu slams into the ground. However, that thought is quickly extinguished as Yushiro saves Zenitsu. Zenitsu, on the brink, sees his master and tries to cross over to see him, but gets stuck in the flowers. The master says Zenitsu is his pride and joy as they both start to cry. Again, I know this is anime, and reality is usually thrown out the window with these kind of things. But if you guys watched the movie, ain't no way Zenitsu fell that far and was able to jump his way back up to defeat Kaigaku, while his clothes somehow start to burn if none of the non-blood demon art breast styles are real. Like, make that make sense. This was also an incredibly quick fight, not gonna lie. Zenitsu got beat up for 15 minutes, then one shot upper rank 6 solo. You know, it's just, you know, it's a little something. I was also expecting like a new theme for his 7th form, but we really got just like a semi-sped up version of his original theme to begin with, you know? The final massive battle of the film begins now, with the remaining hour and 30 minutes left for the versus Tanjiro and Giyu fight. Giyu and Tanjiro are running through the castle looking for people or opponents, but the area around them starts to shake as Tanjiro wonders if people are dying or fighting. Both of them realize that the sound is getting closer towards them, and then Tanjiro recognizes the smell of who's coming, with his face twisting into anger. Akaza comes crashing down from above and calls out to Tanjiro, surprised he's still alive after he thought he was a weakling. We jump cut to Muzan in this flesh cocoon, trying to break down the poison that he was injected with from Tamayo, as he's also slowly starting to absorb her too. Ubuyashiki's kids have been drawing out the layout of the castle throughout these battles, and his son says that Ubuyashiki's theory was, once Muzan dies, all the demons die with him, since they all share a direct source of his blood. That excludes Yushiro though, because he was a demon made by Tamayo, and Tamayo is no longer under Muzan's control. There are more wonderful shots of the Infinity Castle, and we get to see more scenes of the regular Slayers fighting against the demons, allowing the Hashira to conserve their strength. After a bit more dialogue from the former Hashiras who are currently protecting the Ubuyashikis, we go back to the Akaza fight. Akaza rushes Tanjiro, but Tanjiro uses Hinokami Kagura to dodge the attack and slice up his arm. Then again, dodges Akaza's backhand with fake rainbow and cuts his face. Akaza activates his blood demon art compass needle and starts the fight. Giyu immediately rushes him, and the castle changes to raise the both of them up on separate platforms as Tanjiro idly watches. I hope you guys go watch the movies in theaters, so I'm about to tell you, they did not have Giyu doing all this in the manga, bro. This is insane. I said it once, and I'll say it again. Things that these Hashira do cannot be human. Look! That jump shouldn't be physically possible, as like a 15 plus foot jump across the pillars, and Giyu clears that easily. Unmarked, by the way, unmarked, keep that in mind. Then one of the most beautifully animated scenes commences with Giyu and Akaza going blow for 3 minutes, as Tanjiro tries to step in a few times, but then gets knocked around by Akaza. If y'all seen them leaks, you know what I'm talking about. And those leaks happen later on. Akaza is constantly trying to ask for Giyu's name, but Giyu ignores him. Akaza then uses his BDA leg form to overwhelm Giyu and knocks him away through several buildings. Tanjiro finally shouts Giyu's name out, and Akaza split blitzes Tanjiro, acknowledging that's the Water Hashira's name. The two of them attack each other, with Tanjiro going on the defensive. Tanjiro keeps blocking the attacks but gets blown back through a wooden pillar. The two of them talk about strength and Akaza says that he's glad Rengoku died that night so he could fight Tanjiro here. Tanjiro freaks out from that, and tells him not to talk about Rengoku. Akaza says that he's not hating on him, he's just complimenting the strong. He says that he hates weak people, but Tanjiro talks about the strong protecting the weak, saying that everyone needs somebody else to get strong since birth, like a mom or a dad. He says that Akaza had somebody else to take care of him when he was young, so he could become strong. Akaza briefly remembers his past when Tanjiro says that, and takes him off. He rushes Tanjiro again and they exchange blows. Tanjiro hides for a moment, trying to analyze Akaza, and claims Akaza's attack go for his weak points like a magnet. He moves from his hiding spot, and then Akaza immediately goes for the head. They start fighting again, and Tanjiro uses Hinokamikagura Solar Heat Haze on Akaza, and got him swan diving in mid-air. That's so funny to me, bro. It's so funny. The landscape changes as Akaza destroys the ground that they're standing on, and then takes the both of them into a new area. Tanjiro goes for another strike, but gets his blade caught. He's doing everything to get Akaza to let go before his blade snaps, but nothing works. Giyu appears once again, flying in after that grand slam Akaza gave earlier, and cuts off Akaza's arm, which releases Tanjiro's blade. Giyu locks in and activates his Demon Slayer mark after realizing that Akaza is making him bring out his full potential. We then get a wonderfully animated fight sequence between the two of them, as Giyu absolutely destroys Akaza. I'm telling you, bro, them leaks were crazy. They were boxing for real. I'm saying, Giyu went up, left, right, down, shing, 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 straight throwing a haymaker. He had Akaza looking like a swish kebab, bro. It was insane. Y'all need to see this, bro. You need to see this. Like, bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. However, Akaza adapts to Giyu's new speed and power almost instantaneously. The two of them going back and forth around the castle as Giyu is slicing up Akaza. They then crash land into a room far below, and Tanjiro runs to catch up. When he does, he's about to join the fight again, but stops to figure out Akaza's technique. He looks back on everything that Akaza has said or did up to that point to decipher it, even recalling a convo he had with Inosuke. He realizes Akaza reacts to battle spirit the same way he reacts to things by smell, or to Inosuke's own prickly feeling. He rejoins the fight and then gets nearly taken out again by Akaza's aimbot. He miraculously dodges and then has another flashback. The flashback, in short, is his dad explaining how to use Hino Kamikagura from dusk till dawn, using minimal movement to exert maximum strength that slowly allows you to close your mind off, hiding your presence due to that last statement, and sensing things that your eyes can't naturally see. This helps Tanjiro unlock the transparent world, and he realizes that's how he knew Upper Moon 4 Hontenku was hiding in his own heart. This also allowed him to dodge Akaza's previous attack, which would have taken him out the fight. Akaza gets tired of Giyu and prepares to doom like Rengoku. He proceeds to snap Giyu's blade and is about to give him that donut treatment. However, with this new revelation that Tanjiro has, Tanjiro steps in between them and cuts off Akaza's arm. Both Giyu and Akaza acknowledge that Tanjiro's presence has changed. Akaza starts to panic and claims he needs to eliminate Tanjiro ASAP. He uses his final form of his blood demon and destroys the entire room around him. I really like that sequence of, Tanjiro having this revelation with the transparent world, and then also the way they animated both the transparent world and Akaza's final form of his blood demon. Both are really, really nice, and the OSTs for all of them are insane. Tanjiro completely avoids the attack using transparent world since the movements seem slower in that world. Giyu doesn't hold up that well, as using Dead Calm only blocked so many of Akaza's attacks. Akaza thinks Tanjiro died in that attack, and tells Giyu to become a demon, not realizing Tanjiro was right behind him, hawking him down. Tanjiro yells to Akaza, saying, "Akaza, I'm going to cut your head off right now!" Akaza is bewildered to see Tanjiro is still alive, and is even more shocked he doesn't sense Tanjiro's battle spirit. Tanjiro hits him with that smooth backflip into the Hino Kamikagura setting sun transformation. Akaza, in shock, tries to reattach his head, but Giyu chucks his sword at his dome, and his head goes rolling, then disintegrates. Both Slayers think the fight is over. Suddenly, Akaza's body doesn't crumble, and attacks Tanjiro, which causes him to get knocked out. Before going unconscious, Tanjiro realizes Akaza is trying to regrow his head back like Muzan, so he can be invincible to Nichiren swords. Battered and bruised, it's just Giyu versus headless Akaza. Giyu keeps striking at Akaza, yet the demon still keeps regenerating super quickly. Akaza goes to finish off Tanjiro, but Giyu doesn't allow it as long as he's alive. Those words echo through Akaza and we get to see his past. His life was rough as his dad had terminal illness, and Akaza spent most of his youth taking care of his dad. Akaza would constantly steal, and would get beaten for it as he tries to make enough money for his dad's medicine. One day, Akaza stole again, and was being senseless while being called a demon by the magistrate. Akaza said he'll keep stealing with his feet even if they took his hands. After he was released, he saw a group of people outside of his house. A person ran up to him saying that his dad took himself out to free Akaza from his thieving lifestyle. Hakaji, which is Akaza's human name, was devastated as he was fine with stealing and taking the beatings to help his dad live. Akaza was banished to another village due to his death, shown by marks on his arms. He soon gets jumped by a few adults, but beats them barehanded with ease. A fighting master shows up to defend him, but was amazed that Hakaji beat all the adults barehanded. He tells Hakaji to reform, then beats the living snot out of him. He takes Hakaji to his dojo and tells him to take care of his sick daughter, since his wife got tired of it all and took herself out in the river. The master's daughter reminded Hakaji of his dad, and he proceeds to take care of her for a while, practically doing everything for her. Hakaji talked to the girl about going to see the fireworks year after year as she gets better. He trains with the dojo Soru master and gets stronger. A rival dojo went to the dojo where they were and constantly harassed the family and his students prior to Hakaji's arrival, which left no students in the dojo, as Hakaji was the only one that stuck around long enough to learn the Soru fighting style from his sensei. 3 years passed and the girl, whose name was Koyugi, had recovered enough to walk on her own. She was 16 and Hakaji was 18. The master was grateful for what Hakaji done for them and offered up the dojo and his daughter's hand in marriage to Hakaji, which he accepted graciously. Hakaji went to his dad's grave to tell him the good news, and then was going back to the dojo before the sun even set, but he realized something was wrong. Just like his father, people went up to him to say that both his master, Keizo, and his daughter, Koyuki, were poisoned by the rival dojo from their water well. Hakashi, distraught that he wasn't able to protect people that are important to him, remembered a conflict he had with Koyuki during the fireworks. He wanted to become strong enough to protect her, and she let him realize that he was good enough despite his past. She asked him to marry him, and he said yes. The memory lingers on in his mind as he went to the rival dojo and turned into a horror scene, with 67 people absolutely getting destroyed. It was so bad that Muzan came through thinking that a demon did it, yet was disappointed it was a regular human. He turns Hakaji into a demon, and he becomes Akaza. Akaza goes on a rampage for centuries, slowly losing his memories and becoming upper rank 3. We return to the battlefield as Akaza has grown half of his head, and moments later, Tanjiro wakes up. He sees the state of Giyu and rushes in to defeat Akaza again, but his sword slips from his hands. With nothing left to lose, Tanjiro punches Akaza in the face. That punch reminds Akaza of his master, and he realizes what he must do. Akaza activates the attack to use on Rogoku, as Tanjiro rushes in to save Giyu from the attack range. Tanjiro saves Giyu, and sees Akaza smile at him before Akaza uses the attack on himself. Akaza finally gives up, having a final conversation with his loved ones. He reverts to his human form, and with his wife, they both go into flames. Akaza's demon body finally crumbles, and the fight is finally over. Both exhausted, Tanjiro and Giyu try to move to find Tamayo, but both end up passing out. The crows share the good news that they've defeated Upper Moon 3, Akaza. The other Upper Moons sense that Akaza is gone. With Upper Moon 1 angry, Akaza rejected more strength by not regrowing his head, and then Upper Moon 2 taking concern over Akaza's death. The Slayers are so glad to hear the news, although the castle starts to shift again and a whole new area is created. As this happens, Muzan from his flesh cocoon berates the Slayers, telling them that they'll never find him or make it out of here alive tonight. It then goes back to Tanjiro and Giyu's unconscious bodies, with their crows telling them to stay alive. And that's where the movie ends. This movie was insanely well done, and the quality exceeds previous Demon Slayer movies by a ton. Like if you go back and watch the Mugen Train movie compared to this movie, there's a huge jump. Like the sequence of Giyu versus Akaza, those scenes give very season 2 vibes with, you know, Tengen versus Yutaro. That those sequences feel the same, you know, that the scenes in this movie were very reminiscent to season 4 of the Hoshi training arc, with those fight sequences and like particle effects and everything like that. So it's very nice to see those being translated into a feature film format. It's very high quality, it's very well done, it's very wonderful. As I mentioned before, if the next movies are of similar to higher quality, this series might be one of the greatest to do it. I know I've asked for a while, but I left out a lot of great things that you'd have to watch for yourself to catch. I hope you enjoyed my review of Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Akaza's Return. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and share this video with others who you think might enjoy. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Peace out.